Hi, I'm Karen Ross, Secretary of the California Department of Food and Agriculture. I am so sorry that we're not all together this day, this Sunday afternoon, to enjoy a wonderful tradition, a really showcase of all that's fabulous about agriculture, saving farmland to produce the fabulous foods, wines, and brews that we're well known for in the annual Day in the Country event to raise funds for the Yolo Land Trust. I have to tell you that it's become one of my favorite events since the very first year I was secretary. And I know that this one will be successful, even though we're having to enjoy the thought of all that food and beverage virtually. But thank you for being such great supporters of the Yolo Land Trust. You know, over its 30+ years of history, over 11,400 acres of farmland have been conserved. That's really important not only because of the agricultural bounty that comes from Yolo County and its prime farmland, over 250,000 acres of prime farmland, but when we think about the other benefits that come besides that food that we grow. There have been a number of studies that I just wanted to touch on today that really underscore how important it is to have nonprofits like the Yolo Land Trust doing the work it's doing with you in the farming community and in the urban neighbors who are willing to help support funding, ag easements, and conservation tools to make sure that that farmland will be there to feed us as people going forward. But what's really important, and we're getting better and better documentation of it every year, are all the other benefits that come from preserving agricultural land. About a year and a half ago, it was the University of California partnering with the Community Colleges Center of Excellence that released a report that talked about and quantified the ecosystem services and the true value of California's working landscapes, over $333 billion. And that was a conservative estimate, trying to look at things about what preserving farmland means for having clean water in our watersheds, improving air quality, sequestering carbon to build our soil health for future productivity, all of those things that really make the saving of that farmland so important for all of us in society, whether we live in the country or not. Just earlier this spring, the American Farmland Trust released a new report that put California #1, and this is a #1 I wish that weren't true, but #1 as far as threatened ag land to development over the 15-year period of time from 2001 until 2016. They documented over 457,000 acres that were lost or definitely impacted by encroachment of urban, suburban California onto prime farmland. And then just a week ago, the California Rangeland Trust, in a study that was funded through the University of California, Berkeley, released a fascinating report about the value of our rangelands and documented the real price tag of the ecosystem services that come from that wonderful rangeland. For every dollar that's invested in conserving and preserving our rangeland, it equates to $3.43 for each one. I'm really proud to be a member of the Strategic Growth Council, which launched our Sustainable Ag Land Conservation Program 5 years ago. In that 5-year period of time, we've invested $170 million to issue planning grants and conservation easements. We've done that on over 101,000 acres. And here's where your role is so important, helping the local land trust to leverage those kinds of dollars, and more importantly, helping to share the stories. One of my favorite parts when we have the Strategic Growth Council to announce who those awardees are going to be is hearing from some of the families who give such a personal history of their farm and the passion they have for what they do to grow our fabulous California food, to preserve that legacy of something they know they can hand down to future generations. I remember the first year we did that, one of my urban counterparts, who was a public appointee, turned to me and said, I had no idea farmers and ranchers loved the land so much. it's easy for us to think, of course everybody knows how much we love this land, to have that kind of land ethic, but not everybody knows that. So being able to share the stories of the many Yolo County farmers and ranchers who have been able to get that peace of mind by preserving that land, knowing it will go into the next generation and many after that in perpetuity. That's what we gather for, that second Sunday every year in September, for an afternoon of fun and seeing our neighbors and making new friends, knowing that this signature event, A Day in the Country, really led the way for many other events like it around the state. So I'll virtually toast you all and say thank you. Thank you for supporting the important and valuable work of the Yolo Land Trust. And we will see you next year, Day in the Country 2021.